Hi, I'm Margaret and welcome to my artsy corner of the internet. Today we're going to talk about why men don't do pointe, or do they? Pointe work was popularized in the 1830s during the Romantic ballet period. Basically, during this time, female ballet dancers often portrayed otherworldly, mythical creatures, and so to give them a little bit more of an ethereal look to them, they started going up on pointe, using pointe shoes to dance on the tips of their toes. This elongated their lines and made them look otherworldly, so it kind of enhanced the character that they were already playing. But during this time, male ballet dancers were just men. They were often just the love interest of the female lead, and so there was nothing mystical or ethereal or like, ah, about them. So they said, men, you can just stay on flat. And so men never started dancing on pointe. This is where the gender roles of ballet kind of diverged. Well, I guess they were always kind of there, but females started working on precise, intricate pointe work, and they really focused on the artistry and really delve into working with these pointe shoes, where men who didn't have to work on pointe focused more on the very large, engulfing movements that take up the entire stage. Basically, men jump high and women did pointe. And also, let's say, both of them are incredibly physically demanding. They're just very different skill sets. And so the variations and moves that they did reflected this. Women started doing pointe, which was ethereal and floating, and they really focused on making their movements look easy, which it's not. And women really dove into working on pointe, and it kind of became, well, it did become the iconic thing about ballet is the pointe shoes and the women dancing on pointe. But there were skills that were female and there were skills that were male. For example, men do tours where you jump up and you spin around in the air. That was primarily a male dance move until like the 21st century. And similarly, women did pointe work, but men just didn't touch it. They said, that's apparently just not what we do. I honestly think it's really funny because so many men don't do ballet because they're like, ew, it's girly. But ballet might be one of the only places where like gender roles are still very strong and prominent. Men think that ballet is girly, but it's because they're watching the girls do ballet, when really the gender roles are very prominent. The world's a strange place, what can I say? So yeah, men don't really perform pointe, but they have sometimes in the past. In traditional ballets, there have been a couple roles where men have worn pointe shoes. For example, in Cinderella, the ugly stepsisters are played by two male ballet dancers and they're on pointe. But it's more of a comedic parody role, and so there's not really much expected of the men technique-wise. The reason why these roles were created is because it's strange to see a man in pointe shoes. So it wasn't really men dancing in pointe, it was like making fun of men trying to dance in pointe because they don't usually. Are there any male ballet roles that do pointe seriously? Well, in the traditional classical ballet, no. There is a ballet troupe called Le Ballet Trocadero de Monte Carlo. In this troupe, men do all of the traditional female ballet roles in the corps, and they do it on pointe. So this one is a little bit more serious, and they are expected to have a higher technical performing level, but it's still mostly seen as a parody group. You might also be wondering if there's any physical or biological reason why men can't go on pointe but women can. The answer is no. There are just some things due to biology that men can do that females can't athletically, and it's so stupid. It's so stupid. I feel like every ballet dancer has this experience where they've been working to get their triple pirouette for like 4 years and they finally get it. And then their friend who's like, I've never done ballet, comes in and does it on like his 5th class. And you're like, are you kidding me? But is there anything physically holding men back from doing pointe? And the answer is no. In fact, some people say it might actually be easier for men because women have much more flexible feet on average. And so it's harder for us to strengthen our feet to hold ourselves up there. So I guess where women might have a harder time holding themselves up on pointe, men might have a harder time getting on the box, but it will be easier for them to hold themselves up there. But that's obviously more based on individual person, because I have bad feet and I'm not a man, so. The only thing I heard when I was doing research is that some people are like, well, men on average weigh more, so maybe they shouldn't go up on point, but there's not like a weight limit on point. As far as I'm concerned, your weight just has to be in relationship to your strength. You have to be strong enough to hold your weight. So I don't think that's a real reason, but that's the only objection I found anywhere on the internet that said maybe men shouldn't because they're heavier. And that kind of seems like a stretch. In the past, some male dancers have gone up on point for training purposes. If they have weak ankles or if they need better balance or whatever, their teachers might have put them up on point for just technique building and strength building, because you do need really good technique to be able to go up on point. In the past, it was less common, but now it's becoming more and more common that male dancers are going up on point. Not always for performance reasons, but at least for strength building and technique growing. Grow your technique. Some people are forcing boys up on point to help their technique, and other boys are voluntarily wanting to do point, whether because they want to perform roles on point or because they want to help their technique. There's even been an influx of professional male ballet dancers who are training on point and hoping to someday perform these traditionally female roles as men. So for a long time, men have not performed on point because it was seen as something that only women did. But now, male ballet dancers are trying to kind of get their foot in the door at point class and get in there and strap on a pair of boots for themselves. I just hope they know how painful it is. So there you go. Why don't men dance on point? There's literally no reason except for that they don't. And that's starting to change. So I guess men too dance on point now. I hope this answered some questions you guys might have on why don't men dance on point and why do they kind of do now. Thanks for watching. Bye.